Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Wednesday, and all of our guests today brought to you by our title sponsor. Where would we be without them? Able Auctions, ableauctions.ca. Canucks over Colorado by a score of 3-0. In San Jose, the Canucks are on Thursday before hosting the Leafs before the Four Nations break on Saturday. Here to talk about the Canucks is former Canuck analyst on Sportsnet 650, Jannik Hansen. Jannik, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So that's 3 of a possible 4 points, Jannik, without Quinn Hughes, but 3 of a possible 4 points with the Canucks' new players. What are you seeing from this team right now?
There's no question that they needed some of that depth that they added. We needed a defenseman who could play behind Quinn Hughes and Hronek, and it seems like Pettersson could do that. They needed some depth forwards as well. Hiddle and O'Connor looks like they could be those players. The only problem is the player we took out of the lineup is one we couldn't really replace in a top center. So right away, as soon as he gets moved, now we're seeing reports. Vancouver is looking for a top 6 center, which is hard to find.
We'll get back to the center ice position in a bit, but Nils Höglander, he sticks up for Linus Karlsson. Carson Soucy sticks up for D. Petey. What a moments like. We haven't seen a lot of that this year, Jannik. What do moments like that do for a team?
Hopefully it galvanizes them a little bit. There's been a lot of chatter around this team, a lot of noise on the outside, stuff that players can't really do anything about. So it's nice when you get on the ice and you can feel that the team is sticking together, that if somebody come after us, well, they're coming after all of us and we're going to respond. And it doesn't really matter who's out there. It's the responsibility of the players out there to make sure that nobody takes advantage of our guys out there. That being said, obviously you don't want to go overboard and take needless penalties and stuff like that, but have a respond. Let other teams know that, hey, you're not going to push us around without some sort of repercussions.
Jannik, I watched McKinnon, Makar, Netchus last night. They looked dangerous every time they touched the puck last night. Dangerous. I'm going to get over to Elias Pettersson. He's not looking dangerous. So what's going on there in your eyes, Jannik?
Oh yeah, that's tough to watch because again, that's where he's getting paid. He's getting paid like play like McKinnon, and he's not. And you're mentioning they were dangerous all night, and I saw that too. I think everybody saw that, and that's what you're hoping from Pettersson, because if he finds that form that he had, it's a long time ago. It's a year ago that he played at that level. Then this team is a whole nother conversation. So it's frustrating because it's such an integral part of this team. You need your number one center. You need your highest paid player to perform. And right now that's missing. And it just adds on top that you're moving JT that was kind of playing up to his standards. Yeah, his production could be a little bit better, but at least you could see he was there. He was engaged. He was intense. It looked like he cared what happened. Sometimes that's missing with PD. I know they're two different personalities, two different type of players, but when players aren't performing, at least show me that you care. Go out there and run somebody. Do something that's within your control. You can't control bounces. You can't control whether or not you're scoring your scoring chances, but look like you're working your tail off to get back to where we feel like you should be.
Jannik, no Quinn Hughes last couple of games. He's had the hand, it's taped up, and now he got hurt in Dallas. Would you keep him out of the Four Nations? I mean,
oh yeah, yes. I don't care about the Four Nation if I'm Vancouver Canucks. You're in a dogfight here. You need him. Yeah, they've gotten points without him, but this team is miles ahead when he's on the ice with them. Four Nation, it's a nice treat, and I get it. He gets to play with his brother and all those things, but if there's any kind of lingering ailment, I'd keep him out. Again, at the end of the day, it's probably going to be up to Quinn. If he feels like he can play, he walks into the medical room, Alvin's office, and say, hey, I'm healthy, I can play. I'm going to play against San Jose on Thursday. I'm going to play against, is it Toronto? I think they have on the weekend before. Then you can't really keep him out. But again, the rest could do him well. He plays so much. He plays hard minutes. He's going to get taxed down the line as well. So I don't think there is any benefit in it from a Canucks standpoint. Yeah, you are players playing and competing in this event. But you need him in 2 weeks when the league starts up again.
Jannik, you talked about top six centers earlier. Does Filipino look like a top six center?
I knew nothing about him. I don't watch a lot of the Eastern Conference, but he's impressed me. Again, he's got wheels, he got skills. He looks like the type of player you're looking for when you say, is this player making players around him better? And he does. He sets up plays. He's dangerous off the rush. He works hard. He skates. So I really like that addition. Again, can he fill the void left by JT? That remains to be seen. He hasn't done it in the past, but he's definitely a player that the Canucks can use. And if they find a way to fill in above him, well, we're that much better for it.
He's getting more responsibility, at least so far, in Vancouver than he did in New York. You've been there. What does that do for a player?
Well, so a lot of these guys are skilled and they're looking for opportunities. And with opportunities comes responsibilities and stuff like that. So it remains to be seen whether or not he can produce to the point where he can warrant skating 18, 20 minutes a night, first PP minutes and all those things. Because if you don't produce, somebody else will get those minutes and then your minutes will dwindle. And now you have to become effective in less minutes. That can be harder. But like I said, the first two games here have been good. I know he scored the first one, but he had a couple of opportunities last night as well, making plays. So again, get him situated, comfortable with line mates in integral part of the power play once Quinn comes back as well, because that's a big part of that power play as well. Yeah. And then let's see what he can do, because he is probably the one player now that can make this trade feel a little bit better. Because there's no question, I think there's a lot of anger, frustration, and a lot of those adjectives coming with this trade, because it's frustrating to have a team that 4 months ago we thought was so close to competing with Edmonton and the top of the Western Conference, and now we're squabbling over locker room issues and those things. But again, he can, if he turns out and become a valuable player on this team, producing as well, then this trade won't look as bad as it probably do on the surface.
And yeah, do you see what the Canucks see? And he reminds me of a young Alex Edler, by the way, maybe Matthias Soln. Do you see what the Canucks see in defenseman Elias Pettersson?
Last night was the first time I really had a chance to get a real good look at him, and he was noticeable in all the right ways. He can shoot the puck. The physical part is something you're always looking for, and he threw some thunderous checks. And for a young guy, that's not that easy to do, because you're sometimes maybe a little bit worried going overboard and what's going to happen if I do this. But he looked not intimidated in any way. He was in there pushing and shoving, getting grabbed and all those things, and didn't back down. So a young player who, again, you hope that these players will step into the lineup, not out of nowhere, but players you aren't going to get in trades or free agency, that comes from drafting well, scouting, and then developing down in Abbotsford or wherever they're coming from, and then making not just an impact, but a positive impact. And again, go on to play years and become a steady part of the core in the Canucks.
You're very good at this, Jannik. We got to get you back. Thanks so much, my friend. That was outstanding. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Enjoy the rest of the day.
You bet.